My channel. Today I'm starting a series on the history of English literature. See, British literature remains a very huge part of not just all the competitive exams relating to English literature, be it the UGC NET, SET, GATE, UPSC, CUET, etc., but also for each and every student of English literature who are pursuing their bachelor's and master's in English. Why? Because this history is something that forms a base for further studies, and until and unless you have your base ready and strong, how can you build a strong building, isn't it? Because only when you have a good command on the background, the history of that period that you are studying, the important events that transpired during that time, what the era was like, what the changes were happening, only then will you be able to understand and appreciate a literary work better, right? So keeping this in mind, I thought of starting a crash course, a series covering each period of English literature. Even if you are not enrolled in any coaching or if you are not referring to numerous books, it's important that you understand the very basics, because that's how one studies literature. Since this is going to be a proper series about the history of British literature, obviously it's going to run for the next few weeks, and if you are planning to appear for any of the competitive exams, the ones that I mentioned above, especially like UGC NET and GATE and CUET, then I'm going to make sure that you do not miss out on any of these periods, and that you know what to study. I'll guide you through each era of British literature. I'll cover all the significant historical and political milestones, as well as the important writers, poets and playwrights. So make sure that you have a pen and paper ready when you watch any video in this series. Also watch these videos in order, since one period flows into the another one, and that is how I want the information to be stored in your brain as well. Because remember that chronology questions are getting very frequent these days in the UGC NET paper, and that is why all the videos as well, they are going to be all interconnected. Okay, so in order for you to know when I upload a new video, subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to be notified. Watch the videos in sequence to be chronologically absorb the information. Okay, one last thing, all the writers I'll be talking about this entire series, you can access the entire list for free on my website theankitajain.com. If you're starting your UGC NET English preparation, make sure that you visit my website to check that list of the writers and see for yourself which all writers you have and have not prepared for your paper. So let's start the video by briefly understanding the origins of Britain, that how it came to be the nation that we know it today. The story of Britain, that starts with the Britons. Britons, they were the original inhabitants who lived in this land from 55 BC or BCE. Now, these people gave Britain its name, okay? They continued to live there until 410 AD. So that's roughly a period of about 460 years. In 410, Britain experienced a significant change. A Germanic group invaded, which consisted of three tribes: the Angles, the Saxons and the Jutes. You have to remember these names because they are important and something that they have asked in the exam before, alright? Now, among these three tribes that I mentioned, the Angles, the Saxons and the Jutes, the Angles were the most dominant, which is why a part of Britain is known as England today. So the name England, that actually comes from Angleland, reflecting the influence of the Angles, alright? So that's how England, like I said, it got its name. Now, for about 650 years, that is from 410 AD to about 1066 AD, the Angles, Saxons and the Jutes, they lived alongside the original Britons. This period, known as the Anglo Saxon period, was marked by significant cultural and linguistic blending. If I talk about the language of this time, it was Old English. Now, Old English was a combination of the original language that was spoken by the Britons and the languages of the Germanic tribes. This 600-year period is also referred to as the Dark Ages. It was a time of constant conflict and turmoil, with numerous invasions disrupting the daily life. One notable invasion was by the Vikings. The Vikings, they were these people, who were feared for their brutality, the continuous warfare that meant that there was little opportunity for any scientific or literary advancements, right? Because continuously wars ho rahe hain. That's the reason it's known as the Dark Ages, because no development is also happening, all right? Now, talking about the literature during this time, again due to this lack of stability and the absence of the printing press, because printing press is still 400 years in the future right now, okay, you will find that during this period not much remarkable literature was produced during this Anglo-Saxon period. The works that did survive, they fall into two main categories. One is the heroic poetry. Now, heroic poetry, it would celebrate the deeds of the heroes, and second is the Christian idols that would reflect the growing influence of Christianity. The Germanic tribes, that is these three tribes, Anglo-Saxon and the Jutes, they were pagan people who did not believe in a single god, but they celebrated heroism and valor. So this love for heroism is something that you find in their poetry as well. One of the most significant poems from this period is Beowulf, which is an epic, one that continues to captivate the readers even today. Okay, watch the movie adaptation if you're interested. It stars Angelina Jolie, like it's an animated kind of a movie, but do watch that. One interesting thing about Beowulf is that we do not really know the author's name. And when the manuscript was discovered, people just started to read it and named it after the main character, Beowulf. Even though it was not mentioned that the name of this work is Beowulf, but then they started to call it Beowulf, okay? The epic Beowulf, that tells you the story of a great warrior named Beowulf who comes to the aid of King Hrothgar of the Danes. Now, Hrothgar's kingdom is plagued by this fearsome monster whose name is Grendel. Beowulf, he battles and he defeats Grendel, and he eventually manages to bring peace to the kingdom. But his trials, they do not end there, because Beowulf also now has to confront Grendel's vengeful mother in another epic battle. So you see, this poem highlights Beowulf's bravery and heroism as he strives to protect his people from the monstrous threats. There is definitely more to this famous poem, but to keep this video short, I'm not going to go into the details. If you want to study this poem in detail, then you can join my online course where I take up each period of British literature in depth. To see the list of writers that I discuss in my online course, you just have to go to the syllabus section on my website. You not just get detailed lectures, but also summaries. I provide you chronologies, previous year questions, sorted author-wise and topic-wise, and so much more. So this was about heroic poetry. Now, coming to the Christian poetry part, while the Germanic tribes brought their heroic tales, the original Britons, they were heavily influenced by Christianity, right? In the 6th century, Saint Augustine, he played a very important role in Christianizing Europe, including Britain. This religious shift is reflected in the literature of the time as well, with many poems focusing on the Christian idols and imagery. One notable example of Christian poetry from this period is the very famous The Dream of the Rood. Now, this poem presents a vision of the cross. Cross is rood, okay? Rood means cross. And it's speaking to the dreamer, recounting its role in Christ's crucifixion. The imagery of the cross and themes of redemption, they are central to this poem. Most of the poetry from this era, that has been preserved in different manuscripts. One significant manuscript is the Exeter Book. Remember the name, the Exeter Book. Some of the noteworthy poems in this collection, they include The Wanderer and The Seafarer, and they discuss the challenges and the hardships of life during this period. The Anglo-Saxon period also saw the beginnings of prose in Britain, largely thanks to King Alfred the Great. Now, King Alfred, he was somebody of a pioneer in prose writing because he made, substantial contributions to the literary landscape of his time. There are many other things from this period that you should know as a literature student, more so, especially if you are preparing for any of the competitive examinations like the ones that I mentioned above, especially for the UGC NET and the SET. I discuss all these things in detail in my online course. Be sure to check it out. Visit my website, theankitajain.com, for more information and to enroll in the course. On that note, we reached the end of this video. In my next video, I'll be taking up from here and start with the Middle English period. So subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to press the bell icon to be notified whenever I upload a video. If you want to get in touch with me, make sure that you follow me on Instagram, where I also keep on posting so much interesting content, so much interesting and educational content. It's like, your daily dose of knowledge and facts. You will find it interesting, trust me. Plus, I keep on explaining these concepts using cinema, using Bollywood and Hollywood. So you're also going to find that interesting. Also, if you want to access some free material, then download my app as well, and you can also join my Telegram channel for some free PDFs and for. I'll take your leave now, and I'll see you soon in the next lecture. Take care and thank you for watching.